Hello boys and girls, my name is SidAlpha, and today we're taking a look at NERO, Nothing Ever Remains Obscure. Now NERO was released on Steam today, April 29th, and is a very graphically impressive, narrative-driven walking simulator with some puzzle elements to boot. Now the game takes you through a story arc where you walk through the narrative, reading most of it along the way and occasionally encountering puzzles that block your path. But before we go into things too much, I'm going to skip over and give you guys a quick look at the options menu. The options menu of the game is extremely bare bones. For audio, you have simply master volume with subtitles on or off, video with master resolution, gamma correction, full screen, or VSync, and gameplay options with horizontal and vertical aim sensitivity. I'm guessing that's for controllers, invert vertical look, or vibration on or off, definitely for controllers. That's it. There are no other options there, which is really disheartening because this game does have a lot of issues which could be resolved with a more robust options availability. However, that is very much not the case here. Now, the overall game walks you through a tragedy story of a family and their attempts at coping with a terrible loss, including all of the typical story elements that you would expect to find, which is essentially the 5 stages of grief: anger, denial, bargaining, grief, and acceptance. Now, although the game does have occasional voice narration, it relies mainly on floating text that you, the player, absorb as you walk through the course of the game. Now, the overall gameplay is there. It's hard to give this game a raving review for its gameplay mechanics, as it is wholly a walking simulator. It does have the potential to edge towards art and video gaming, but unfortunately there are enough problems with the game that it falls short of that criteria. The puzzles in the game are unfortunately painfully easy, even for someone that isn't a fan of puzzle games as a general rule, and as these are the only breaks you have in the narrative outside of the cutscenes, I had hoped for a bit more diversity and difficulty in the game's sole interactive mechanic. Although, unfortunately, while the game does give you the option to run as opposed to walking, it is still far too slow and only serves to artificially pad an already short game. Now, the graphics in this game are stunningly beautiful. The cutscenes alone were exceptional and really drew me in. I really wanted to see more of this, and it's obvious here that the developers definitely know how to animate in a very high quality. Unfortunately, the overall beauty of the game is marred with far too much lens flare, to the point where in some areas it makes it difficult for you to pick out your path. And the game has far more pop-in than I feel it should. However, I would probably play the game again just to see those cutscenes, because they were just that damn good. The overall stability is good, having not experienced any real crashes on my playthrough, but like I said, the pop-in of the game is exceptionally bad, and the game's options are not sufficient to help resolve some of those issues. And in regards to the story, well, it did manage to hit home slightly for me, but I think that is only because I'm a father, and anything like that triggers that irrational fear one gets over the prospect of losing a child. Now, the story itself is really mundane and offers no surprises at all as you walk through the narration one line at a time. The voice narration is very good, but I felt that there needed to be more of that in order to help carry through the emotional impact that they were attempting to convey. It just wasn't quite able to offer the emotional punch the story of this type needs, and it felt pretty rushed, as an average playthrough will only take about an hour and a half to 2 hours. Possibly 3 if you're a completionist and you want to hunt down all of the collectibles and picture pieces, but they seem to offer nothing to the overall game and seemed pretty pointless. Now, unfortunately, NERO is a game that offered a huge amount of potential with the story delivery and the amazing visual quality. However, it suffers in almost every other area that I can think of. The lens flare alone made me feel like I was watching a fucking J.J. Abrams movie and really needed to be toned down here. The options menu was about as robust as one would see in a mobile game and seriously needs revamp to offer a more robust feature set. The story had potential, but was just bland and rushed, and it felt like the devs should have really spent more time and effort on the story, and if they had, then the game would have been much better. And I have said as much before, guys, but beautiful visuals do not a good game make. And while I definitely wanted to like this game, it ended up falling well short, and at the full $20 asking price, I would recommend that you guys give this one a pass until it drops below the $10 price point. So this has been a look at NERO. Nothing ever remains obscure. This is a wonderfully detailed, visually done walking narrative style game that unfortunately missed the mark by just a bit, guys, and it's really not quite worth the $20 they're asking for it, unfortunately. So maybe when the price comes down, but right now as it sits, I would keep my eye on it, but let it go for a while. So that's it, guys, and if you do change your mind, it is available on Steam right now for 20 bucks or your regional equivalent. That's all I've got. So once again, I am SidAlpha, and I'll see you next time. Hi there, boys and girls. Thanks for checking my video out. If you liked what you saw, don't forget to hit that like button and maybe even that subscribe button. Trust me, it works really good. Don't forget to share with your friends, and if you're interested in following me on Twitter and Facebook, the links for that are in the description down below. I also have a Patreon if you're interested in helping to support the growth of my channel, and the link for that is down below as well. And once again, thanks for watching and supporting my channel, guys. I really appreciate it.